If you can please leave me a like, and if you can leave a comment, that would be great. Really helps, motivates me to keep on making these videos. Monday around 12:30 in the afternoon, so I am mostly done by this point, but there are still opportunities. I am sometimes asked, are there any opportunities using the US levels method after, let's say, 11 o'clock? So I'm mostly done by 11 o'clock, but there are opportunities if you're just patient. For example, I'm looking here at the YM. So YM earlier pretty much hit the buy level, missing it by a few ticks. As far as I'm concerned, this is a completion. Coming back to this midpoint is the decision. Once again, a whole bunch of profit is available to the upside, breaking below the midline, retesting from below. Again, a whole bunch is available, and now it is back to the midline. If I wanted to still trading, and I will, I'm going to still trade here. What is it that I'm looking for? Well, breakthrough. So we had kind of a breakthrough the midline. It is now retesting it, and I would say if this bar closes bullish, I'm going to take a long. Not good enough for me. I want to see if it can take out this high. On the other hand, right, because this kind of coincides with this and with this, so I really want this pivot to be taken out. On the other hand, if they start breaking below the midline again, maybe if they take out this pivot over here, so I can even place an order here.
Order submitted.
A sell stop order. They start breaking that, well, then I'm short. There was a bit of a miss of the buy level. Not anything terrible, but just a small miss, which could mean that they actually want to get to the sell level underneath. But that's, that's too far away. And especially, again, this point of the day, I'm less excited about trading, but I can
Order
just
filled.
here we go. I just want to kind of demonstrate what is it that you can do even after 11 o'clock. Well, so here is the short. Where's my stop? Any kind of a bar that closes above the midline. If a bar closes back above the midline, I am out. Even intra bar, if they break this pivot, I am out. So it's two ways of getting out: upon bar close, and like a hard stop if price just breaks this pivot. Targets. Well, I can definitely expect this test of this low, right? So that's how I will trade it. But I always recommend for traders, just go for $100. See if you can get consistent taking $100 per E-mini out of the market, and you would adjust accordingly if you're trading micros. I know it doesn't seem like much, it's not much, but that's how you grow your account. More importantly, that's how you get the confidence. Gotta take small steps. For those of you who don't know, US Levels is a course that I teach where traders learn to identify these levels before the US session opens. So this midline, this is the decision point. This is where they're going to go to make a decision. Because it's so important, it is tested for the most part more than just once or twice a day. As a matter of fact, unless there is some kind of a news event that really pushes the price far, far away, they will come and test this line a number of times. And then from here, there is a decision. Are we going lower? So below it you want to be short, it is weaker. Above it you want to be long, it is stronger. I wouldn't necessarily, for example, here just be long simply because the bar closed above. I would want to see what a retracement looks like. In this case, the retracement definitely broke again below the midline. I wasn't here for this, but if I was, let's say, looking for a trade, I would take a short upon a break of this pivot over here. Because of the time of day, kind of like now, I would only expect some kind of a scalp. I would not necessarily be looking for big moves, especially after 11 o'clock. I just, take whatever you can if you must trade. Me, as I said, I done by 11 at the latest. Sometimes I'm done by 10. So again, you see, if you were looking for $100, $150, per mini, you got this. That's how I think you should trade, at least at first, just until you get the confidence how these levels work. Once you're like me and you took a few thousand of these, you understand that all markets do the same things. And we're going to look at other markets once this trade is over. All markets do the same things every day. in different ways, right? Different markets have different personalities. As I said, this would be a target at this point for me. If they reach anywhere here, I'll just take it. Even though I probably expect a deeper, kind of a nice attempt at the sell level. Given the time of day, I'd be looking to flatten out somewhere here.
Order submitted.
Place this here.
Order filled.
Well, that was painfully slow. Alright, so the target is hit. I still feel we should be coming here, but I'm not trading for that. In any case, let's see how the other markets did today with these US levels. Here is the Nasdaq shortly before the open. An attempt at the midline, could not even get it. An immediate sign of weakness. If the market can't even reach the midline, forget it. They're coming toward the sell level. As they were coming here, now of course we do expect a bounce because this is a target. A bounce is expected, but as the Nasdaq was reaching it, I posted in the channel, in the US levels traders channel, even though there could be a bounce, we're probably gonna go lower, and that is because there's been no action above this midline, which means there is tremendous pressure on the market and it still has much more energy to the downside. Here is the S&P, once again, shortly after the open, a test of the midline from underneath. This is absolutely perfect. Again, this level was known to our traders before the session started. Here we go, a test, a failure down to this sell level. A small bounce, right, as it arrives, a small bounce as expected, but ultimately, kind of like the Nasdaq, a suspicion is they probably are gonna go lower, and indeed they went lower because again there was a certain amount of energy that must be expended during the session, and if there was no attempt at the upside, they're going to be doing it on the downside. Crude oil opens up at 9 o'clock shortly after the open, a test of the midline, a breakthrough. If you were looking for a conservative entry, you never got it. The idea of a conservative entry is price breaks through and then retests. There was an attempt here that really did not really come close. Pretty much below this midpoint, straight down to the sell level. Really no bounce on this target. Instead, what they do is they break through. That's another thing I teach. Breakthrough, retest, right? Breakthrough, retest the sell level, fail, down we go. Again, just like the Nasdaq and the S&P, because there was no action on the upside after 9 o'clock, probably they're gonna do lower prices here, and indeed they did some lower prices. Gold normally is our star instrument. Today was tricky. Today did not reach a target until actually just recently. I'm going to show that. Still though, opportunities to the long side. I was actually long at 856 or 858, right over here. I was long here, had plenty of profit. I was trying to hold for this and got taken out at break even. They break through the midline, right? Break through, retest. Again, give you a little bit, but not quite to the target. So gold today, somewhat tricky. It does happen. A couple of attempts, just cannot do it. There was another one, cannot do it. And finally, did the opposing thing. So they tried to go up to this target on the upside, couldn't do it, completed the target on the downside. Here was this bounce that is so typical of hitting these targets. And again, traders who took the course know how to identify this level hours in advance. And here it is, achieving this target and bouncing. Russell opening up. If you were doing the conservative entry, there was nothing on the long side, there was nothing on the short side because they don't really test it. They finally tested here, so this is actually a short. So let me make this kind of bigger, just to show you it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? This is a qualified short trade right here, breaking below the midline, retesting it, right? Retesting it from below, bar closing up. As far as I'm concerned, this is a failure of the midline test from below. Here is a short. Where is your stop? Right over here. They close the bar above. Here is your stop. Look what the next bar does. The next bar retests this midline. Even intra-bar, as I teach, even intra-bar, if this high is taken out over here, you see this wick, this is a long. This is a long. So you make up your loss, you add some more depending on what you went for. The loss is made up. They come down to the midline again. Here is another long, right? Testing the midline and a long over here. You had something. If you were trying to hold, it's a stop out again, right? That's just how it is. As I said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I always say, if you're trading all 6 markets every day, there is going to be at least one that's going to give you a hard time, and you might even, as happens to me, I might actually be negative in a red in one of the markets, but the other 5 more than make it up. But the point is, yes, out of the 6, there is going to be that one that is just a pain in the neck. But then breakthrough retest, if it's a bar closing down, this is a short. And does it reach the sell level? It does. It reaches all the way here. Do you have enough to make up all the losses? Maybe, or maybe it's still a bit down. Again, it's not easy to hold trades. I get it, I understand. But the point is, the market does what it was supposed to do, right? It reaches the sell level, and what happens, as with pretty much everything, a bounce. Right, here is a reach of a target and a bounce. So remember our YM, right? Here is the YM attempting here the sell level. This is very close. I have to call this a completion. Normally there is an actual touch, but as I teach, as price is beginning to arrive at this last, if you can see this kind of a last line, this last level over here between the red line, which is the target, and here, this is already, you have to suspect a completion. Completions often have reactions the other way. So here is the YM attempting it now. No, it was so slow, gave me a hard time, but finally markets do what markets do, and all markets do the same thing. If you want to learn how to identify these levels, this is knowledge that will always stay with you. You can apply it way before the market opens to any of the 6 markets we cover, and even other markets. I do have traders who trade the 6B, the 6A. Of course, natural gas has been pretty good with this. So it's not like it's only these 6, but these are the 6 that we follow. My email is in the description. If you have any questions, you can email me, come to our Discord server. Thank you all. See you next time.